Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be playing Boom Splashed with Abhyss. Of course, best deck. You can hear sick music playing, and we're gonna pen summon 5 and kill our opponent with 21 negates through any hand trap. Let's go. So of course, right now we don't have any Abhyss in our hand. This is just a showcase for what the pendulums can do and how they bring the Abhyss monsters into play. We're gonna start off with the activation of Zefra Providence, searching is Zefra. We'll use Zefra, as Zefra will pitch a Zefra Tubin, just because you're gonna pen summon the Zefra from hand. You'll need the Zefra Tubin just to change it to a low skill. You're gonna go ahead and use pen call, search a couple of things. Another good thing about Zefra Tubin is level 4, and we need level 4s for the entire engine to function, which you'll see in a moment. We're going to scale the Celestial Magician at a high scale, and then we will pen summon the Harmonizing, the Zefra Tubin, the Zefra, and the second donkey. Let's go! We're going to go ahead, use all their effects. The second donkey chaining 3, because its advantage is kind of the most meaningless. It's really mainly just follow-up. I will be getting a pen sorcerer for follow-up, and we'll be grabbing a Zefra Divine Strike. We'll go into time start detach Harmonizing, grab back the Harmonizing. This is just for follow-up. We'll go into King of Feralums, and this is where the Abhyss comes in. Rank 4 spam, you got King of Feralums. We're going to grab a Nihil, and you're going to see a very, very basic and very repetitive play with King of Feralums search Nihil. Nihil will use its effect, dumping a curse. Curse is probably the best one of the big Abhyss monsters, because it's able to monster reborn for free. We're going to use the curse in order to tribute the Zefra. That's also the reason why I chose Zefra Divine Strike specifically and not the 9 pillars, since we want to tribute the Zefra and kind of get advantage that way. It's not really advantage, but you know, it leaves the rank 4s on field, so we can go into Utopic Future Dragon later. We'll use the curse to revive the Nihil. Nihil will use this effect in order to grab a Lily. This is the new card that just got added to Edo like maybe like 12 hours ago, I'd say. This is just Foolish Burial for the deck, and a searchable Foolish Burial is always really good. We're going to use this Lily in order to dump a null. Null is able to revive itself if I control an Abhyss monster, so we will do that right here. We'll go into another Feral Imps. It's not a hard one per turn. We'll be able to search another copy of Null. The reason why we do this is because we can use Null's effect in order to dump an Aelith. Aelith, its effect isn't too it's not really too important, but you really just need it as a level 8 that can summon itself, so that we can go into rank 8 plays. We'll tribute one of the Feral Imps, go into Hope Harbinger, go into Utopic Future, Utopic Future Dragon, set the Divine Strike, and pass. So right here, we can use Hope Harbinger's effect in order to you know, well, do stuff. I say you're mainly going to detach. You want to find a way to detach something off Harbinger in order to get the curse back in the graveyard, and then the curse just gets you so much follow-up. The Utopic Future Dragon cannot be destroyed by card effects and is able to snatch steal your opponent's monsters. You have the Zefra Divine Strike that just, you know, just blows your opponent out of the water, and you have the Harmonizing and the Pendulum Sorcerer in your hand for follow-up, which is just absolutely insane. Pen best deck. Now we'll see the better boards we make with the if we have Abysses in our hand for our opener. So right here we have 2 Abhyss cards, Aelith and Snake Lily. The thing about Abhyss cards, you can discard them off pen call. You can discard them on pen call, basically Dark Worm. We're going to go ahead and use Oracle first off. We're going to grab a Zefra. We're going to use Zefra in order to use its effect, put up a Zefra. This will get us a negate and a body on field. We'll use a pen call, discarding Aelith, grabbing a Purple Poison, and Harmonizing. We're grabbing Purple Poison specifically here since Zefra is now a high scale. We're going to scale the Purple Poison. We're going to pen summon 3. Harmonizing will trigger its effect along with the Zefra and the second donkey. Second donkey grabs a pen. Oh, actually, we're going to search a Celestial Magician right here. The reason we do that is since we haven't used our normal summon yet, we'll be able to normal summon the Celestial, use its effect, and then we'll be able to search a monster during the end phase. So that's even more follow-up. We'll overlay into another time star, and the plays are pretty much the same. We're going to grab back a Harmonizing, we'll use Pendulum, grab in the heal, and we already have the aliens in our graveyard, so we can actually get an extra search, and you'll see the extra search in a moment. The plays are the same until well, we have the second Snake Lily. We're going to use Snake Lily, get null, summon itself. We're going to Feral, and Feralymphs will search a null. And we're only running one Aelith, remember that, because Aelith, it's a brick. You're only running it as a level 8 to summon from the graveyard. We're gonna use null spec. We're gonna dump a Zoha. Now Zoha, it's not really that useful turn 1, but it has some absolutely massive grind game implications. It's able to search abysses, it makes for 0 point in the hand loop and all of that. We can go into Utopic Future Dragon, we can use Aelith, Tribute of Feralymphs, summon itself. We can go into another Hope Armature, set 1 and pass. So this is the same board. During the end phase, Celestial will get us a search. We have the Snake Lily as follow-up. That's Zoha. If we're able to somehow detach the copy of Curse from the Harbinger, we're able to use effect, revive the Zoha gets us a search, and then we can continue plussing from there. Just go and OTK your opponent out of the water. The deck is absolutely super fun, super consistent, gets follow-up, gets negates. Like right here we have 3 negates, 1, 2, 3. We have follow-up, we'll have Harmonizing and Pensorg. It's just absolutely insane. Like this is why Penned best deck. It's just gets everything done all the time. Pen best deck. Let's get to the deck profile. Right here we have the best deck profile. Starting off, we have our Zefra engine, triple Zefra, 2 Zefranu and 1 Zefra Tubin. Triple Zefra is pretty explanatory. It can either grab a Zefra Tubin or a Zefranu, usually the Zefranu for obvious reasons. It's really good, and especially it has some really good versatility just because it's able to change its scale to either a 7 or a 1, which is really good, which is why we have to play the 1 Zefra Tubin 2. We have the 2 copies of Zefranu. The reason why we run 2 is just for a grindier game. We want to have the ability to manipulate our scales more often, so having the double Zefranu is just better. The 1 Zefra Tubin, it pops cards, I guess, but it's mainly as a low scale to copy for Zefra. It also pops cards, which is pretty cool. That's nice, but you're almost never going to hard scale it since it locks you into pen summoning Zefra monsters. Next up we have our Performapal engine, triple Pensorg, triple Second Donkey, triple Celestial Magician. Pensorg, broken card, pops 2, searches Second Donkey, normal summon, searches another card, absolutely insane. It's not even, a Second Donkey is not even once per turn, so if you like pen summon it and a Pensorg can search another Second Donkey, normal summon to get another search. It's just an absolutely insane card. It's Skullcrobat 2.0. We have the triple Celestial Magician, where not only is it a scale 8, it's also able to search a Pendulum during the end phase, which is one of its more important effects. It also like revives any like Xyz monsters you control that are destroyed by an opponent's card effect, but it's not really that important, I guess. There's a cool interaction, like since Hope Harbinger doesn't need any material in order to negate spells, and it's a soft once per turn, you can actually use your Hope Harbinger attack magnet to make itself get destroyed. Then Celestial's able to revive the Hope Harbinger, and then you can negate another spell. So that's 4 negates right there, which is really, really dumb. And it also gets your abysses in the graveyard, your Aelith and your Curse, which is very important. We have the 2 copies of Purple Poison. You're mainly running it just because you can summon it off Harmonizing, and Purple Poison can just, pop stuff. It's a low scale, it basically does a lot of things. The 2 copies of Harmonizing, you should probably run 3, but I just felt that it's kind of redundant in a hand that's not able to get scales up, and I kind of found that a fit when I was running 3 copies of Harmonizing, so I cut her down to 2. Triple copies of Duelist Alliance, triple copies of Pen Call, you just want to search stuff. Having access to Duelist Alliance and Pen Call to search the Harmonizing is a lot better, since by that time you're practically guaranteed to have scales. We have the 1 copy of Terraforming for the Oracle. Triple Zefra Providence, searches Divine Strike, searches Zefra, all of that. Oracle does the same thing, searches Zefra. Divine Strike, you can search it off the Zefra. Just being able to get an Omni Negate is really good for obvious reasons. We have the those are all of our pen cards. We have our Abhyss engine of 1 Aelith, 1 Curse, 1 Zoha, triple Nihil, triple Null, and the 2 Snake Lily. We'll go over these one by one. Aelith, it's kind of the worst card in the entire lineup. Null just mills Aelith, and then it doesn't really do anything apart from reviving itself once per turn, which is, and doesn't even give you any pluses, so it's kind of the worst one. And the worst thing about Aelith is that it lets your opponent add a monster from the graveyard to your hand, which is terrible. Curse is better since it allows you to recover any level 4 or lower Abhyss monsters. You can recover a Zoha if you want to search. You can recover a Nihil if you want to search a Lily. You can do a lot of stuff with Curse, which is why I think it's the best Abhyss card in our lineup. We have the 1 copy of Zoha. Zoha is able to recover itself from the graveyard, so if you have any dead card, you're able to discard it, and just like that you have a level 4 that can be pen summoned. And it's also able to search Abhyss cards, but it does let your opponent draw a card, so that's kind of a minus. We have the Nihil. Nihil is really good, just being able to dump the Curse, which is the best in the graveyard, and Curse can just revive the Nihil that is sent to Curse, and Nihil is able to search a Lily, which just gets you even more advantage. Triple Null. Null is just able to mill the Aelith, I guess, and it's also to mill the Zoha eventually if you already have access to Aelith in the graveyard. It's also able to summon itself, which is really good. And it does lock you into reptiles, I guess, but you're usually able to just tribute it off for another card, so it isn't that big of a deal. You have the 2 copies of Snake Lily. The funny thing about this is that you can actually get Snake Lily's effect to reborn a reptile. If you have access to Aelith, Curse, Nihil, Null, and the Feral Imps, that makes 5 monsters by itself. That is 5 monsters, and that's really insane. You're able to recover an extra reptile, and you can combo off, go into an access code, and do all of that stuff. For extra deck, we have the 1 copy of Ignis to Prominence. You're mainly making it if you want to just sync off the Harmonizing. If your opponent has any threats, I guess, you want to just shuffle. You just want to out your opponent's cards, out Dragoon, and all of that stuff. You have the 1 Harbinger. Harbinger negates spells, really cool. Dingirsu, just if you're going second, you're able to send your opponent cards, and it protects your cards, which is very important. The 1 copy of Time Star. Time Star just, gets you extra follow-up. That's just really good about it. We have the 2 copies of Feral Imps. Feral Imps, searches your reptiles, all of that's not even on 1 per turn, which is best. We have the Tornado Dragon, pops cards, really good versus back row decks. A Dweller shuts down the entire meta right now. If you know what deck your opponent's playing, sometimes it's just better to go into the Dweller over the Utopic Future line, which is really cool. The other Utopic Future line, Dragon and Normal Future. If Utopic Future Dragon doesn't come, or isn't announced to come by the what do you call it? I expect this thing to come in Lightning Overdrive, okay? I'm expecting Utopic Future Dragon to come in Lightning Overdrive, and since it's more of a Utopia-esque set. But if it doesn't come, then you can kind of cut this out for stuff like Trapeze Magician, just for OTK, I guess, all of that stuff. You have the 1 copy of Access Code, Appaloosa, Nightmares, and Celine. It's a pretty basic Link lineup. If you don't want to run Appaloosa, don't, I guess. But since you do have the ability to Link spam too, you also have that option. You can go into Nightmares fairly easily, Link climb into an Access Code, and absolutely obliterate your opponent. So that is the best deck, and I will be seeing you next time. Goodbye.